I'm sure like a lot of people out there would like to know, what kind of things do you do in the program at United Cerebral Palsy that you see non-handicapped people doing your age every day?
Well, we do like industrial arts. We have also sports, and we have swimming and arts and crafts and stuff like that. In charge of project here, which we run amongst ourselves, which is a soda machine in sense of responsibility and, to train you in the sense to have sense of responsibility and dealing with money also.
Do you take turns being in charge?
Yes, we have different shifts that each other get assigned to run that project.
Who's the best?
Really, I can't say, but I started the whole thing.
People in everyday life always have goals. Goals seem to be the most important thing. Those are the things that make you go further. That's progress. What kind of goals do you have?
Well, everybody here has goals, which I myself accomplish a few, which are, in the sense of, like I said before, with the soda machine and volunteering work, and I also do Xerox and stuff like that. And really, we all have a weakness, but through the help of United Cerebral Palsy, we learn to really accomplish your personal goals, and we intend to prove it, because I feel that personally in public school they didn't really give you an opportunity to prove yourself, and that's why I'm glad that I got an opportunity to be part of United Cerebral Palsy.
That's good.
I want to talk to my friend Joe here. Joe and I have been talking for a while, and I wanted to share some of the conversation with you. Joe, how do you see yourself being slightly different from the average non-handicapped adolescent?
Well, we all individual. Well, the way I look at it, we all the same, but we have a disability. We could do things that any other person could do, but we got a disability, and we got to accept that for ourselves. We got to learn to accept it.
Thanks, Joe. As you can see, everyone enjoys a party, and so do we. And as entertainers, we get a chance to perform and attend parties all over the world. But none has been so enjoyable as this one here at the United Cerebral Palsy Center in Manhattan.
The programs for the students here are supported by your donations. Why don't you pick up your phones, and all KISS fans and everybody out there with some heart, call and make your pledge. Thanks.
Do it now. The initial concept was just to be different, was just to do something that would just stray from the natural path. I mean, not even from the natural path, but from the path that all other rock and rollers have come down on.
I think what we were trying to do was take everything one step further. There was a lull in rock and roll when things got a little boring, but you had people like Hendrix and The Who were trying to add something new, a visual element and an image.
When you guys first started, though, you got a lot, the critics really jumped on your case.
Sure.
And they gave you a hard time. You guys you weren't good musicians, you couldn't play at all. It was just a big commercial gig to try and make as much money as possible, and then that was it. What about the musician work? I mean, do you feel much more serious about your work than the critics, or did that hurt you?
We always have. We've always been very, very serious about the music, and if we would have paid attention to the critics at all in any way, shape, or form, the band would never have even gotten off the ground.
Try not to keep KISS in any kind of category and have to stick to that, because then you have the danger of becoming a parody of yourself.
Change maybe doesn't quite hit the button for me. I think maybe evolve is the point. Changing almost infers that you're leaving behind something, disregarding the past. I think what we're doing is just evolving to the next step.
Where do you think you're going to go from here?
I think everybody in the band has got dreams, about things that they want to do. Right now, full-time, KISS is a 24-hour, it's not even a job, it's a a lifestyle. We talk about the family, and that's what it is. And when somebody does something that they shouldn't do, you sit down and we wag our fingers in their faces and say, this is no way to treat family. You know, it's a very
Make sure I eat my vegetables.
It's true.
All the green stuff.
Notice our skin is very clear. We don't get much of a tan, but it's...
You come back to help cerebral palsy.
We were asked to do this because the United Cerebral Palsy in New York City, right here in Manhattan, holds an interesting session. They play rock and roll, and the clients here, and that's the way I understand the people that stay here like to be called, use rock and roll as a therapy. And it's an interesting concept, and we got very excited by this, and we called to try to find out if there was anything that we could do, and they said, please come down and, you know, try to help, get involved.
You know, it's nice to be fortunate, and it's nice not to forget the people that may not be as fortunate as you are.
The group KISS kicks off a 60-city American tour this February. The group dropped out of the American music scene for a while, but we found them gearing up for an exciting comeback. Probably no rock group drew more attention or made more money during the decade of the 70s than KISS. Their fire-breathing, blood-spitting antics on stage drew them a loyal legion of fans dubbed the KISS Army. And a shrewd merchandising campaign brought in an estimated $100 million annually in KISS-related revenues. But the men in the mysterious makeup disappeared over the past several months. With KISS, it's not so much a case of where are they now, but where did they go?
We pretty much left the country 2 years ago. For a band to stay around as long as we have, this is our 9th year as a professional group with albums out. And after that amount of time, you have to expect that some people are going to want you to take a break. And
Or you break down.
yeah, exactly. I mean, after this amount of time, you really have to find other places to play.
But KISS has returned now with a new musical approach. It's an album called Music from the Elder, based on a single mystical concept. The rock music jury is still out on the new KISS album, but the group's on- and off-stage personas have always been a target for critical fire. This despite sales of over 40 million records.
KISS is what it is. We do what we do. We think it's obviously special. It's not something we have to sit down and verbalize. People already know that when you talk about the live performance, the ultimate live performance is one band.
Music industry experts are wondering if the KISS way may be passé. However, the group says they'll keep their no-holds-barred stage shows and their makeup. But Gene Simmons admits that after all this time, people have begun to recognize him.
I get asked for my autograph all the time, but they think I'm Engelbert Humperdinck.